refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it. Truck is in position. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck. Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
And hello fellow aviators, VREF Summer here. Welcome to this Friday night flight. Coastal Airways charter operations. We're in beautiful sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just north of Miami. You can see there's the shoreline there. And we are parked in the Yellowfin, which is the MD-83 that Coastal Airways uses for many of our sports team charters. Tonight we'll be flying Inter Miami, David Beckham's Major League Soccer side, up to or over to Houston. And you can see here we are. There's a beautiful, you can't miss that blue paint job on the Coastal MD-83. Looks like we got our fueler has finally arrived. That's good. But here's the aircraft. As you can see, it's just a beautiful bird for sure. Can't really he does parked area shelter. The team is on board now. Still have that aft air stairs open just since we have the fueler finishing up this hooking up and all. But it's been a beautiful day so far in Fort Lauderdale. Let's go ahead and hop inside the cockpit and we'll go ahead and brief the flight. Have everything set up, ready to roll, and anticipating a pretty nice ride all the way over to Houston. Alright, so once again, welcome aboard. Any of you that are new to the channel, glad you tuned in. Always great to have more people here ready to fly with us here. Make sure this door stays open. People need to be able to get off. Well, we'll go ahead and brief up the flight while we're waiting. Let me pull up the Internet Explorer. That way you all can follow along with what's going on here. We'll start with our weather briefing here. So let me there we go. I think I'm actually going to reduce the size of this a little bit on the screen, just so we can see things. We can still see. Alright, I think that'll work. Alright, perfect. So here we are with our so we're looking at Fort Lauderdale right now. Let's go make sure we got the latest and greatest here. Winds were 160 at 4, 10 miles, visibility few 25, scattered 12, broken at 25,000, 25 and 19, 299 or 4 on the altimeters. Let me get that set really quickly. I think we have 92 set in the altimeters, so I'll get that in the left, in the center, and also on the right. It's all set. Over in Houston, pretty nice day also. It's winds are out of the north 10 knots, 10 miles, clear skies, temperatures 22.17, 94 on the meters there, and it's VMC the rest of the day. So same for here if we had to come back. So looking pretty good all around today, which is a good thing to have. Let's go take a look at our standard weather briefing here. Convective segment wise, there are some storms up north of our route today. We're going to be flying down south and across the Gulf over just south of New Orleans and then into Houston Hobby. Partially because it'll keep us out of all the convective weather that's to the north, and also shaves about 100 nautical miles off the flight, and we are certified to, for some of that overwater flying. Alright, let's check out let's go back. There are segments there. Let's check out our air mets really quickly. And pretty quiet now. It's definitely a lot different than it was in the winter months when we had a lot of air mets to contend with. Not nearly as much going on these days, which is fine. So nice smooth route, smooth flight expected. Surface analysis. Just looks like there's a low pressure cold front as we right as we get into the Houston area, really. And that makes sense. We have that counterclockwise motion around the low there, and those winds coming in from the north right as we're going into the Houston area. So that all makes sense with what we're seeing for overall weather picture today. Here's the upper level winds, and you can see it's not super strong, but we will have pretty much a direct headwind the entire way over there to Houston Hobby. Check out the METARs really quickly, just make sure we have plenty of places we can go. And looks like all along the route, it's either VMC or either VFR, visual flight rules and visual meteorological conditions, or marginal. So we should be able to go into up north to the coast if we have a problem and get in. PIREP wise, let's see what we have here. Definitely have a few little PIREPs. We're actually out here where this 340 turbulence PIREP was. Let's see, this was an A319 reporting moderate turbulence to fly level 340. So that's right where we're planning to fly. So we'll need to keep that in mind. And there's an E170 getting prime bases at 900. That's up in the Baton Rouge area. Shouldn't affect this. And let's look at the radar. Storms up to the north. Pretty spotty though along our route, so nothing that should really affect us. As you get farther north, it's a little more unsubstantiated, but looking good for us right now. And that's all I got for that. Let's hop over to the release really quickly. I tried to highlight the pertinent items. We're Riptide 5801, that's our call sign today. Charter flight going from Fort Lauderdale to Houston Hobby. We are going to be going into Class 2 navigation. That's going to be during the first part of the trip as we're going over the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll have a few things we'll need to do to prepare for that. Just some checks. I've already done all the pre-flight checks that are necessary for that. All of our equipment's on board and tested. NOTAM, we do not have any MELs today. As you can see, no items there. NOTAM wise, I tried to highlight the pertinent ones. You can see they're just gobs of NOTAMs. We're both Houston Hobby and here at Fort Lauderdale. But the ones that'll really affect us down there in Houston Hobby, well, the ILS runway 4, that's what we're expecting. I think it's VMC, so it's gonna be a visual back to the ILS. That one isn't really pertinent, but Hobby taxiway Kilo 2 is closed. Let me show you that really quickly, because that is probably where I would plan to turn off the runway when we're going in there. And obviously that's you'll see here in just a minute when I load it, that taxiway is closed. So we're gonna have to probably roll all the way to the end. So let me just get this loaded up in the Navigraph. I'll actually move it over here so you all can hopefully see it. Let's see, make sure you all can see that just fine. Yes, you can. Alright, so you can see it's at the end of runway 4. That's where we're expecting to land, and Kilo 2 is this turnoff right here. So that's closed. So we're likely rolling all the way to the end, and then we'll go back to our parking, which is actually down here, the south ramp. That's where we're going to be parking today. That's where FBO is. Alright, cool. Well, back to the brief here. Any other NOTAMs? Just here at Fort Lauderdale, runway 10 left, 28 right, still closed, and all the associated taxiways. So you have to come back. We'll plan to land 10 right, 28 left. Yeah, we're planning to take off on excuse me, 10 right, 10 right. So looking forward to it. It's a short taxi for us, which is nice. Already looked at the weather. Taxi routing for us today. Let me pull that back up. The Navigraph. Alright. Taxi routing for us today. Like I said, it's a very short taxi for us. It's just going to be basically right turnout, Lima 1, right Lima, right hotel, left hotel 3, and left Juliet 1 to 10 right. That's going to be the plan there. And we'll get down to 10 right. 10 right is an 8,000 foot runway, plenty of runway for us today. Speeds we're planning are 127, 132 for the VR, and 141 for V2 is all set, and that's in the speed bucket there. And standard of work criteria, so below 80 knots we'll reject takeoff for a variety of reasons. At or above 80 knots, we're only going to reject the takeoff if we have severe engine damage, engine fire, or inability of the aircraft to get or stay airborne, or some wind shear alerts. Clearance wise, we are squawking 2200 and flying the, let me take down the, I want to take the release down for just a minute on the screen. Actually, this will work. Let me move this up here. I think y'all will be able to see it just fine. Let me move this over to plan, get this down. Alright, there we go. Alright. 4,000 is set in the window for the altitude, and it's armed to top altitude on the Be Nice 1. Accelerate 250 knots if unable, advise ATC. And off of 10 right, it's initially a heading of 096, which is set. And then out to elbow. Yep, that's what we're showing. We have elbow. Rodom at or above 4,000.
Miami Traffic United 1970 is on the Sistel arrival for
That's loud.
08 ready.
Sorry.
Miami Traffic.
Alright, I'm sorry. Room at or above 4,000. YOLO, Elric, and then Moreno at 4,000. We might be able to climb up as long as there's not a ton of traffic in the area, or ATC is still off. They're not on right now. So then we have Be Nice, and on the release, I'll just read it off the release. That way y'all can, I'll show you all the, we don't need the release up anymore. Let me take it down. Get that out of y'all's way so you can see a little bit better. There we go. So here's our route. So yeah, we have Be Nice, Korea, Dolly, and then it's Sarasota. Sorry, I do not know why it's doing that. Stand by. I gotta get my release up on my end. It fell off of my computer. Yep, so Sarasota, John Boo.
Fort Lauderdale traffic, split wings 2689, 10 miles
Charge.
final, runway 10 right, Fort Lauderdale traffic.
See, we're going right out over the Gulf there. Charge, then Ramis, Rozzy, Nate, Redfin. And at that point, we're getting pretty close to New Orleans, as you can see. Lima, Echo, Victor, Casey. Now we're on the arrival, the Bay 5 into New Orleans. So I'll pull that up, or not New Orleans, but Houston. So Leeville, Casey, Slice. Yep, Gear, Shuttle, Bay. We'll check those speeds and altitudes later. Pucks, Ready, Big, and likely, I'm guessing it's going to be, for landing runway 4, it's going to be
2689, I got you traffic in sight.
Big between 7 and 6, and then on track to cross Shug at 6. So that's what we're going to expect, but we'll have to wait until we get the, make sure that that's what we're doing. So yeah, Shug at 6 and EMAR and Vector. So that all matches. Total distance we're looking at in the see right now, it's at 867, and on the release it was showing a planned distance of 877. So that all matches up. Everything looks good. We'll go ahead and close this out. Automation level on departure, we are going to have nav. We're going to arm
Port
nav
loaded
when
on
we're
traffic between
400
2689 short final runway 10
and
right.
VNAV at the flapper traction altitude, and we'll get out. Engine out procedure out to 3000 straight out. We'll come back to land here more than likely, or Miami International if it's absolutely necessary. Transition altitude is flight 180. That's all I have. Do you all have anything on your end in the chat here? Sounds like we have a little bit of activity out and about, so we'll just, one of the threats, we'll just make sure we're listening up for the other aircraft that are in the area and are ready to interact with them as necessary. Alright, well let's go ahead and do the cockpit crew checklist. And I'm going to get the APU fired up while we're doing that. There we go. Get that going. And we'll go ahead and get the air conditioning off the airplane. Yep. Go ahead and get them started, getting that done. Alright, cockpit crew checklist, flight recorder aids test checked. AR's alignment is verified. FMS GPS is checked, cross-checked. Emergency lights.
Miami traffic 1970 on the downwind freight, right?
Cabin signs now on. Windshield anti-ice switch on. Engine sync selector off. Stall warning tested. Air conditioning shut off switch is in auto. Fire protection system tested. Actually, I still need to do that. Let me do that really quickly.
Fire left engine. Fire right engine.
Showing all that. Perfect. Let me pull this. There we go. Fire protection system is tested. That's the last part I hadn't done yet. TRP tested. Fuel quantity, we're at 22,900 pounds. Yep, we're playing 23 minutes, 22.2. That looks good. Altimeter is 209.4. Cross-checked. Fuel shut-off levers off. Cabin pressure lever auto. Cabin crew checklist complete. Alright, just waiting on the APU to get online. Looks like it is. Go ahead and switch the bus over to that. Get the APU air on. Cool. Now let's go ahead and get everything disconnected here. And I'll go ahead and run the, oh yeah, I gotta do it through GSX. That's the one thing with the Mad Dog, you can't, for whatever reason it doesn't let you control the GPU on the EFB. You gotta, maybe it's just with GSX installed, but here, I'm gonna have to get the that to 0. Let me get these pneumatic boost cross feed levers up. There we go. Alright. Let's get ready for the before start. Hello? Everything going here. Got all our doors closed. Just make sure all those are showing closed. They are. Awesome. We'll go ahead and get that closed too. We have anything in the center tank? We do. Alright. And we'll use ignition B today. Alright, let's go through the before start check. Parking brakes set, EFB, set over to flight mode, stand by. Yep. Flight mode. EFB's flight mode, pneumatic pressure is at 42 PSI. Ignition selector is B. Left, right, center, fuel tank pumps all on. Anti-collision lights on. APU norm econ switch, norm. Air conditioning supply switch is off. Pneumatic crossfeed levers open. Thrust levers idle before start, check, complete. Alright, we're going to start 2, then 1. Here we go. Start my clock here. Two. Oil pressure. At 20%, there's our max motoring. Alright, there's a light off.
Miami traffic in
Percent,
turning
start
base
that out.
08 right, Miami traffic.
And there's our rollback. Cool, let's start 1. And 2. Oil pressure. 20%, max motoring. Light off. Percent, start cut out. And our rollback. Awesome. Let's go through that start flows here. Alright, perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could please have your attention to review some important safety information. In preparation for departure, be certain that your seat back is straight up.
Alright, I'm just gonna go get all this stuff cleaned up, then we'll do the checklist.
For everyone's safety, regulations require compliance with all lighted signs, placards, and crew member instructions. To fasten your seatbelt, place the metal fitting into the buckle and adjust the strap so it fits low and tight across your hips. To release, lift the faceplate of the buckle. Please review the
Alright, after start check, engine ignition selector is off. Pitot and static heaters on captain. Airfoil and engine anti-ice switches off. Air conditioning supply switches auto. Door cue light checked off. Hydraulic system is check set. We're showing 3000 psi right there. Perfect. After start check complete. Let's go flaps 13. That's what we're planning today. We're all clear out there.
If there's a loss of electrical power, low-level emergency lights will illuminate. All exits are indicated.
I have to do one more click here, I'm guessing. Let's see. No, I got it. Perfect. I think I got, no, I didn't get it. One more click. There we go. And watch your knees. Alright, just make sure that worked. And let's do the taxi check, please. Alright, let me go through my flow.
On behalf of the flight crew, welcome aboard. We hope you enjoy your flight. Thank you.
Alright, taxi check. APU air switch off. TRP art is off since we're flexing. V speed bugs are set at 127, 132, 141. And 141 in the bucket. Speed bucket here. Yep. Instruments FGS checked. FMS GPS checked. Flight controls tested. Flap slot lever is 13. Extended. Auto brake, auto spoiler. Takeoff armed. Then on Rudders and stab trim is 00 and checked. Takeoff briefing is performed and cabin report obtained. Taxi check complete. We're clear on the right, clear on the left. Here we go. Got our speeds up there. Awesome. All right, I'll give them a call here on the radio. Pull up the taxi diagram for us here so we can see. Here we go. Let me hide this. There you go. And Fort Lauderdale traffic, Riptide 5801, MD-83 taxiing from southwest ramp to runway 10 right via Lima 1, Lima, Golf, Quebec, Juliet, Fort Lauderdale. I just changed it. I think that's going to be an easier route than having to make all these turns in the hotel area. I think we're actually at Atlantic, isn't that right? But here we go. Yeah, we're out on time, which is good. Got 30 past the hour, and we just a little past 30 past, so I think we're looking good for getting Inter Miami to their destination early. A little extra thrust to get this rolling. Alright, so we're going to take Golf straight across, and then it's going to be a right turn on Quebec, which is the second right here. Clear left, clear right, here we go. We're definitely burning a good amount of fuel here on the ground while we taxi. 22.1 was our min fuel for takeoff, so we're at 22.5. We're looking good. It looks. Clouds look pretty. Alright, it'll be the final right. Yep, clear left, clear right, here we go. They're already in the back. Go ahead and start getting us ready. Blast off. Go ahead and blast right off out of here. Alright, going all the way down to Juliet 1. I don't see anybody on final. I don't hear anybody on the radio. I'm going to go ahead and make our announcement. We're Lauderdale International Traffic, Riptide 5801, MD-83 taking off runway 10 right, departing to the north and west on the Be Nice 1 departure. We're Lauderdale. Alright, here we go. Yep, 10 right, Juliet 1 is verified there on the taxiway signs. There's the EMAS, that's cool. This is a good scenery, by the way, for Fort Lauderdale. Can't remember which company made it, but it's the one available in the Microsoft Flight Simulator marketplace, and it's a really good one for sure. All right, before takeoff check, takeoff runway 10 right, July 1 entry point. Takeoff data is confirmed. Fuel balance is checked. We're showing 22,550 for our takeoff release fuel. Let's go make a note of that. Brake temperatures checked. Engine ignition selector both. And EOAP is checked. We're takeoff check complete. I have controls. Here we go. Let's get underway to Houston. Alright, let's go up to 1.4 on the EPR. There it is. Set thrust. Thrust set. Eighty knots. Check. A1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Up to 20 degrees. Nose up. There we go. There's 400 arm nav mode. It's nice and smooth out here. And bug it up, please. Get down to 10. And VNav, well, let's select climb first. I don't hear anybody else flying around through here. I'm going to keep this going up to our 340. Get back on the flight director there. There we go. I'm hoping they'll have shared cockpit in this plane soon, and the gear controls. This will be a fun one to fly. For sure. Alright, flaps to 0. Flaps up. Autopilot on. Well, once flaps are up, autopilot on. There we go. Go ahead and run through my flows here really quickly. And then we'll go and keep on climbing here. Those hydraulic pumps off. Alright, after takeoff check, brake temperatures are checked, landing gear up, lights out, auto brake is off. Speed brake lever retracted, flap slide lever up retracted, engine ignition selectors off. Center tank fuel pumps, we gotta leave them on for now. And altimeters standing by until we get up above 18. At least we got a nice little view of Fort Lauderdale here. For sure. Alright, well I think we're in the clear. Let me check the VATSIM SimAware really quickly, just make sure that not showing anybody in the area. No, there's nobody right now. We need to go ahead and get climbing though. So we will continue our climb. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to use let's see what we can do here. Climb on out. Here we go. And this is on clamp, so I have to manually set the thrust right now. It is very touchy. There we go. Let's get a quick view outside the aircraft. I want to turn this off so we save the battery. It will run out. And there we go. That exhaust. Love it. All right. I'll take the range out so you can see the next fix a little bit better down here. It's showing Moreno. And then for some reason it always switches over to plan mode. I do not know why. But let's get that radar on. I'm going to zoom us out just a little bit more on the navigation display there. Well, for those of you that join watch this later, thanks again for choosing to ride along. Glad to have you on board this evening. I know it's late for the stream, but certainly love getting to fly these flights and share it with other people who also have a passion for aviation too. And that's honestly one of the great things about Coastal Airways is it's all a group of guys that are really interested in simulating transport category flight ops as realistically as possible. There's our 10,000. Give them the bells in the back for the flights in it. There we go. But it really is a lot of fun, and it's a good community too. I know one of the other two of the other guys are flying right now, doing some proving flights. Hilton Head to Greenville, Spartanburg, then down to Pensacola, I believe. So maybe we'll get to hear him on the radio. I don't know, but awfully quiet down here right now. Yeah, there's the latest SimAware map. So here we are heading out. Got our let's see where the other guys are they were heading down to Pensacola out of GSP. Oh, they're still on the ground in GSP, it looks like. So they should be departing soon, but so we might get to talk to Jacksonville Center a little bit while we're en route. I hope so. It'll be fun to have some ATC. But Houston's definitely off, it looks like. I didn't get to check the maps earlier today, but I would imagine there were a lot of controllers on. Alright, I'm gonna VNav it now. There we go. Now the auto throttles are back controlling the thrust levers. And we just need to keep an eye out for the flight 180. Make sure we get our landing lights off and all of that. There's an ACAR system that will ding you here at Coastal if you aren't watching out. Get our bank limiter back to 30 degrees. Alright. Well, now we're moving at a nice clip. We'll definitely take some time to talk about the Major League Soccer season up to this point and what's going on, especially with our two teams that we take the time to charter here at Coastal Airways, Orlando SC, and Inter Miami. So we'll take a look at how last week went for them, week 8 of the season, match day 8, and also looking ahead to match day 9, which is this weekend. So but first, don't want to miss the flyable 180. Easy to do when you get to talking, get distracted. And we still have a ram air temperature of 13 out there. I guess it's rat in this airplane. Alright, here we go. We're almost to 180. Alright, let's turn them off. And logo light off. And 2992. Alright, 2992 is set and cross checked. External lights are all set. Alright, we're good. Cool. Let's look outside the aircraft one more time really quickly. Got the swamps below. Alright, well we are definitely underway, making good progress. Take a look at the Navigraph, our en route charts here. So we will just cut into Jacksonville Center, it looks like. It looks like when we get just past Charge, that's going to be the fix where we need to switch over if they're still on, which I'm hoping they will be. But, yep, making our trek across Florida. And we'll spit out into the Gulf right around Sarasota. And let me restart the fly live. Looks like it didn't. It got frozen on the ground again. So I actually uninstalled it, reinstalled it, which is why there's a little bit of that delay at the beginning of the stream. I was trying to just have a fresh install of it because I was thinking, talking to some guys, and they were like, yeah, maybe that'll help get it to where it'll work and update, but I don't know what's going on with it. So here, let me reload it, and it should have our altitude, distance remaining, and all of that in there. So I'm just going to type in the pertinent info here on the screen. Okay. There we go. See, now it's showing the altitude up top vertical speed, ground speed, all of that. So if y'all ever see something like that during the stream, like it's frozen, just chat, let me know, and I'll try to reset it. But I've got to figure out what's going on with that. I'm gonna try maybe check out a few more forums online. All right, I'm gonna leave the seatbelt sign on for now, especially with that moderate turbulence we were expecting up ahead. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Let's take a look at MajorLeagueSoccer.com and what's going on with the teams. So the flight that we're operating, we're actually taking. Last week we took Orlando right up to Minneapolis. They're gonna be home this week, but we're taking Miami over to play Houston Dynamo in Houston. So that's the reason this flight is occurring tonight or today. Depends on what time of day you're watching. It's daytime in the sim, I guess. But here's the current standings in Major League Soccer. So both Miami and Orlando are in the Eastern Conference, and you can see Miami, it's pretty low right now. The playoff line, you gotta have 9 points there at 6, but everybody's pretty close, relatively speaking. So one win and Miami's right back in the playoff picture. Orlando, on the other hand, they're sitting at 11 points, so 5 ahead of Miami. These 2 results ahead. Let's take a quick look at what happened last week. I think when we went and looked at the power rankings, that was a really good way to get updated on what was happening. And see, it'll show you some of the previous scores too. Let's see if I can find the power rankings. Here they are. This is a fun way to kind of get up to date. Now, there will be some players missing, I think, are not playing this week because the U.S. men's national team and also the Mexican national team played each other in a friendly on a Thursday night. So, or maybe it was Wednesday night. It was earlier this week. But up first, number 1 team in the league according to the power rankings is good old LAFC. They are always kind of sitting in this position these days, it seems. They won the MLS Cup back last season, and they have some really good players on their team still. And I'm actually going to get to go watch them tomorrow night live in Nashville. I live in the Nashville area, Nashville SC fan. I'm looking forward to it, but it's going to be a tough match for Nashville to try to win or even get a result, honestly. Just to get a draw is going to be tough. All right, we're at 33 for 34. I'm going to stay up here in the cockpit for a little bit. We can talk a little bit about LAFC as we finish off the climb here, and you got to check and make sure that altitude arm is active, because it was active and then it kicked off again, so I don't know how that happens. Maybe it was when I had hit the VNAV button again. All right. We're smoothly leveling off here at 340. Alright, I'll assume that's pretty good. So we're showing 19,050 pounds of fuel, top of climb. Let's check that out really quickly on the release. Let me swap over to that really quickly. The top of climb, we were planning to have 18.5. First fix it'll show in the release with our fuel is Dolly at 17.8, and I think we're still Dolly's still 35 miles away, so we're looking good on fuel. Looks like we have a little bit extra, which is fine, and we're going to be well below the max landing weight. which there's a really nice cushion in this MD-83. You can carry a lot of fuel and still land, which is awesome. But it also helps that we have an extremely light payload, only 60 passengers on these charter flights, so that helps with that also. Let's play a room. So we'll go, let's check the electrical loads really quickly, make sure everything's looking good up here. Alright, yep, everything's looking good. Pressurization's good. We're holding steady. Cabin altitude's up at about 6,800 feet. Differential pressure, delta P is 7.6. And cabin is more or less at 0. Awesome. Let the guys get up for just a minute before we get out over the Gulf. I think once we're out over the Gulf, I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign back on because that's where we had that moderate turbulence reported. Alright, well, back to soccer. Let's get back to the soccer discussion for a little bit. And feel free to chime in with any questions, or if there's anything else you'd like to talk about, just chime in on the chat for sure. Alright, we can't watch videos anymore. I found that out after last week. It'll tag a copyright claim, or so. No more watching highlight videos or even these Twitter things. I just don't want the video to get flagged or a copyright claim. New England Revolution, they're sitting at the number 2 spot right now. So they had a 1-1 tie or draw with Columbus. Columbus tied the game up really late, like in the 5th minute of stoppage time. So pretty exciting game for Columbus. They're playing up in Columbus. But that was good. Also, I didn't mention, but LAFC beat the LA Galaxy 3-2. Heard it was a really good game. Haven't gotten to watch it yet. But that's like their biggest rival. So that was pretty big for them to win. They call the game the El Clasico. Well, I think it's El Trafico or something. That's what they call it. But they won it. But yeah, New England's good. I mean, that's Bruce Arena's team. We talked about that a little bit last week. It's just he has a really, he's a very accomplished coach, one of the most storied coaches in American soccer history, so he's doing well. St. Louis City SC, they've bumped them up 4 spots. I mean, they love it, St. Louis City, but they absolutely demolished FC Cincinnati after a weather delay last week, and St. Louis scored 5 goals on them. And Cincinnati had a stingy defense before that, for sure. Seattle Sounders FC, it's a media favorite. They just took them down 2. They lost to Portland 4-1. They only went down 2 spots. But whatever. Seattle's good, but definitely not my favorite. And then there's Cincinnati. So they lost their, might have been their first loss this year, I think. Yeah, but they'll bounce back. I'm thinking that weather delay definitely had an effect on them in that game. All right, that's the top 5 for now. We'll continue with the next few in a little bit. Let's check over at the SimAware, see what's going on out in the VATSIM world. Hopefully we'll get to talk to a controller here in a bit. There's my Rex Aki season. You might hear the birds chirping. I'm going to tune in to Jack's Center now. It's 135975. It's Howard. It's a controller tonight. Cool. Phantom Plays, hey, how are you doing? Thanks for hopping on board. Glad to have you here on this flight. I'm going to turn, let me go through the next few rankings here on the power rankings. So next up, so number 6 is Columbus Crew. Yeah, they came back and they stormed back for a late goal to tie New England. Oh, let's check our fuel really quickly. Sorry. We'll come back to that in just a minute. So we're just now crossing our fix of Dolly. Looks like we're showing 18,500 pounds. Cool, there's the shoreline. So we're showing 18,500 pounds, and we were to plan to have 17.8. So we're about 700 pounds heavy, which is good. We'll take the extra fuel. Awesome. And let me looks like we got a master caution, center tank fuel pressure low. Yep, so center pumps are coming off. And just make sure our outside air temperature, yep, it's at -48. Good. So we are not in icing conditions as we go through this layer up ahead. All right. Let's get back to the look at the power rankings here. Since we're doing an MLS charter, we're going to talk a little bit about Major League Soccer, just what's going on in the league. Yeah, Columbus, Wilfred Nancy is their new coach this year. He's definitely got the team getting results, which is good. It looks like they say here in this article, the Crew have taken 10 points from their last 12 on offer. So 10 out of 12 points, that's pretty good for the last 4 games. Atlanta United coming in at number 7. They went down a spot, but they had a draw up there in Toronto, which is never an easy place to play. Pretty hostile environment, and the weather is also pretty hostile, especially if you're used to playing in a nice dome in Atlanta. FC Dallas, they had the win against RSL last week, and their forward Jesus Ferreira, he had a goal to tie up against Mexico in the U.S. men's national team game earlier in the week too, so congrats to him. Certainly was fun to watch him score that goal. San Jose Earthquakes keep moving up the rankings. After a horrible season last year, they finally seem to be clicking and might be playoff contenders this year. They had a 3-0 win against Sporting Kansas City. So pretty shocking for SKC to be having such a rough start to the season. New York City FC, they found a way to get a result against Nashville SC last week, and they moved them up 3 spots. And you can see Nashville moved down 3 spots, so they kind of flip-flopped. But Nashville, really poor job defending set pieces last week against NYCFC. Basically, NYCFC was able to just send some guys in on wide open on corner kicks and free kicks and headers into the net, and they got ahead 2-0. Nashville got a goal back late, almost scored an equalizer at the very end of the game, but it was too little too late. Nashville's got to really get back to their good defense, but also they have got to find some guys that can score some goals. It's crazy. But I'll go see them tomorrow night live against LAFC. Hopefully Nashville can get a result. Philadelphia Union are at number 12. They were early season favorites to win quite a bit, but have kind of struggled. They're playing Toronto. And then here we go, Houston Dynamo. They're at number 13. They had a draw against Red Bull New York. And they're going to play this team we have in the back here today, Inter Miami. So we'll continue talking about that in just a minute. Let me hop up here. So I'm gonna do let's check out the Florida shoreline that's going underneath us here as we cross over Sarasota. I'm gonna hop outside the aircraft for a bit. Here we go. That is a cool view. All right. And here pretty soon we will let's Let's see, Sarasota, then we go out to Jambu after that. Okay, cool. Let's see what the winds were. The winds were forecast to be 263 at 54 up here. And they're at 52, so they're pretty close. I think it might actually show us the winds on the progress page. 297 at 52. So, well, it's pretty good. All right, well, here we go out over the Gulf of Mexico. Well, Phantom Plays, if you're still on, how was your day? Any, you been playing any flight sim lately? Anything like that? And yeah, we still have a few miles till we're gonna talk to Jack Center. I'll leave that up for you all, so you can kind of see where we are. Maybe shrink it a bit. Uh-oh, it went away. Oh, there it goes. It's like it went away, what? Let's see if I can get this to... There we go. That's better. You can at least kind of see where we are. Let's see where the other coastal, the proving flight is. They're going out trying to see if they've gotten in the air yet. Yep, they're on the climb out. They're at 16.6, heading down to Pensacola. I think we are gonna just miss them. They're gonna be a little ways north of us as we're flying across the Gulf. Here, I'll show y'all where they are on the Internet Explorer here. So that's them right there. Coastal 57. And they're 16.6. And climbing. Looks like they'll be going all the way up to okay. Let's see, they're flying at 737-600. But yeah, it's a proving flight for one of the regular routes we're going to have at Coastal, I believe. Hilton Head, Greenville, Spartanburg, and Pensacola. I can't wait to fly those legs for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of variety here at Coastal, which is fun. You get to do the scheduled airline flights. You also get to do the charters once you get enough hours and you check out the Mad Dog. And it's fun because you can see there's no expense spared here at Coastal. Like, this is custom. You see the stickers here in the flight deck. My personal favorite is the Yoda here, Fly You Must. And top-notch exterior paint jobs, as you can see. But yeah, just a really fun place to fly for sure. So if you're interested, check out flycoastalairways.com. You can get more info, apply, send in your application, and hopefully maybe even have you flying on one of these streams with me in a shared cockpit down the road. I would love to do it. I would imagine hopefully they'll get the Mad Dog added onto there. Would not surprise me if they do. And as you can see over on the Flight Sim Broadcast Network stream, that's Jason, our CEO, his channel. That's that proving flight down to Pensacola, and the 737-600 is being done with a shared cockpit using your controls. So yeah, definitely be sure to go check that out. It's a really cool thing. And it sounds like we're going to have some Lots of opportunities here at Coastal to do some shared cockpit flying. Like I said, the goal is to simulate 121 flying as realistically as possible, and you basically are going to get to go through a 737 ground school if you get hired. So enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It looks like we're coming up to Janbu now. There's 17,500 pounds of fuel. Let's take a look at our release and what we were planning to have at Janbu. So at Janbu, planning to have 16.8. And we're at, what, 17.5. So yeah, we're still holding steady at about 700 pounds heavy, which is good. I'm going to pull up the frequency just so we can have some 135.975. We'll be ready to talk to Jack Center. So 135.975. There we go. So basically, once we get past charge, that's when we're going to need to thinking about contacting him. All right, heading outside. Watch your ears. I don't know how loud it is on your end for it. I don't think it's too bad, but here we go. Just want to get a look at the... Yeah, we're kind of in a cloud layer here. I am going to go ahead and sit the everybody down in the back, since we know there's some moderate turbulence out in this area at this flight level. That was reported. And we're still showing negative 47 for our
1785, clear direct dirty.
Good direct 30, 1785.
Alright, let's get back in, let's check out the rest of these power rankings in Major League Soccer for a bit. So yeah, Houston's up at 13, Orlando City's just below at 14. They had a big comeback win in Minnesota last week. And I'd like to think that the, virtually speaking of course, that the smooth ride on Coastal helped them have the energy to come back on the road after going down 1-0. And they ended up winning 2-1 against Minnesota United, who has now dropped down below them at number 15 on the power rankings. Chicago Fire FC, kind of surprised. They're moving back up. They had a draw against Philadelphia. Vancouver Whitecaps kind of just hanging here in the lower end of the middle. Had a draw in Austin. Toronto, another draw against Atlanta. They just cannot find a way to win. I think it said they've had 6 draws in 8 games this year for Toronto. So they just keep having draws. Same for the Red Bulls. They just keep on having draws. If you want to check out the videos, go to MLSsoccer.com. You can check them out there. They definitely have some really good content, and I would recommend going. I just can't show them on my stream, or I'll get copyright claims, I believe. Colorado Rapids. We're at the
8524, fly runway heading, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
Wow, that's loud. Hope it isn't too loud for you guys. Just say something if it is in the chat. Rapids, Timbers, they're all kind of in the middle. The Timbers had a really cool win against Seattle Sounders. One of their big rivals in the Cascadia rivalry. And there's a really cool bicycle kick goal. Can't show it to you here, but definitely check it out. Darren Esprilla, that's who it was. He, like they say, is a world-class bicycle kick. Very cool. Austin FC, they're kind of struggling. Same with Charlotte FC and DC United. Down at this end of the table, these are the teams that are struggling, which includes Inter Miami, who's in the back here.
Your Papa Romeo, expect the visual approach runway 8 or 18 right rather, the Orlando altimeter 29902.
Let's see what they said about Inter Miami. Miami seemed to be the big winner in last week's trade with Montreal for Canadian international center back Kamal Miller.
Put in the Orlando VOR 112.2. I'll have you that direction once you enter.
Which somehow also netted them $1.3 million in general allocation money, but there's still a long, long way to go for Miami. At least they got the week off to reset. So they had a week off last week, and now they're heading to Houston. So we'll see what they can do. I personally don't think Houston's like an outstanding team at this point. They might be down the road. So it's definitely doable for Miami. LA Galaxy just plummeting. Look at that, 27. It's weird seeing LA Galaxy this low in the power rankings. Yeah, they lost to their bitter rivals. And Sporting Kansas City, 2 goals through 8 matches. That's pretty bad. They said, okay, look at that. Sporting Kansas City's, this is OptaJack on Twitter. They posted, Sporting Kansas City's 2 goals through 8 matches are the fewest at this stage of a season in MLS history. No team had scored fewer than 4 times at this stage of a season before.
1698 for cancellation receipt. Have a good weekend. We'll see you later.
So as much as I was complaining about Nashville SC not having good attacking options, Sporting Kansas City's way worse at the moment. And then Montreal at the very bottom. So Hernan Losada, the coach there, he's been bouncing around team to team, struggling, and it looks like he's struggling again in Montreal. So I don't know what's going to happen to old Hernan Losada, the head coach. Not looking good for him. I'm sure he's on the hot seat. So that's what we have right now with the Major League Soccer, kind of the standings, what's been going on.
1785.
And here's the
We're just curious if we could step away for less than 2 minutes.
schedule. We also are going to have some special matches this next week
altitude.
in the U.S. Open Cup, which I'm thinking we might get to fly some of those charters too.
8524, what is your altitude?
None of our teams, Orlando or Miami, are traveling at this point. Miami is staying home. Let's see, they're playing. See if I can find it here.
Delta 8524, are you there?
They're playing in Miami.
Yes,
so Miami FC, which is like a minor league semi-pro team, playing Inter Miami. And then Orlando actually won the U.S. Open Cup last year, so I think they're still given a bye in this round of the tournament.
Delta 8524, turn left heading 340. Delta 8524, you may actually have to fly the plane there, just turn left heading 340.
Well, one thing I'm excited about, flying over the Gulf made me think about it, is the new Aerosoft oil rigs. I want to show y'all some of these pictures that they posted in the Aerosoft website for the Gulf of Mexico.
1785
Offshore landmarks, Gulf of Mexico. That's what they called it. Let's see if yeah, here we go. If I can find. So here are some of the pictures that were posted on the Aerosoft forums.
Here, Papa Romeo, still maintain 6,000.
Show them to you here. So you can see there are just high detail. Looks really cool. There's some helipads. See if I can find you one. Oh, I need to log in. Let me log in really quickly. Hold up. I do want you all to get to see some of these pictures. They were incredible, I thought. So let me close that for a minute. Let me log in. And we'll show these to you. Alright, cool. I'm logged in. So take a look at this map. This is how many oil rigs are up in this northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. We're actually going to be flying over this area on the way into Houston, but each one of those gray dots is an oil rig. That's incredible, isn't it? So here's a zoom in of it.
1209, the wind's 180 at 8, runway 18 right, clear to land.
As you can see, I mean, it's just, they're everywhere. It's incredible. Look at the detail on this oil rig here. This is just beautiful. Like flying helicopters, you'll have some good places to land and fly to. Which there are some really good helicopters in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 now. But yeah, the Aerosoft forums have a lot of good stuff about it. I don't know when they're planning to release this yet, but I mean, as you can see, they're gonna have some aircraft carriers out there. There was one picture where there was an oil rig. Yeah, look, you can see the flames coming out. Look at that at night. That's pretty cool. So like when we're flying out of Houston at night back to Fort Lauderdale, you'd see some of these flames out in the middle of the water. It's just gonna be a cool thing going forward. There's this first test exports to the sim. Look at all of those rigs they have added. That is incredible. Let's see what's on the next page here. If it'll load. Try to, there it goes. Let's see what Matt just posted here. Yep, there's another one with a helicopter landing on the oil rig. Aircraft carrier. So yeah, I guess you have some aircraft carriers to land on too. That's cool. Some shots of the carrier in the sim, a total of... Okay, that's just a lot of detail, I think is basically what he's saying there. Wow, look at that. You can go down under the deck, see the jets. Wow, look at that lighting. Incredible. Well, looking forward to it. Definitely say that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got to be getting close to... Yeah, we're almost into Jack's Center now. Well, let's hop back out here and do a quick scan of the flight deck, make sure everything's still looking good. From 16.3, let's check our electrics, check our pressurization. Looks like we just reached we're almost to charge, okay. Saw a big change in the sunlight, I thought we were turning or something. Yep, pressurization's holding steady, perfect. Alright.
For Papa Romeo, turn right heading 250, just want to maintain 4,000.
250, down to 4,000, 5 Papa Romeo.
Alright, I'm going to call him up. Jack Center, Riptide 5801, flight level 340.
And somebody checking in, who was that?
Riptide 5801, flight level 340.
First 5801, Jack Center, squawk 6063.
6063. 5801. It's just 6063. Here we go.
First 5801, your radar contacts about 11 miles east of Remus, maintain level 340.
Wilco, Riptide 5801. Alright, cool. So we're all checked in now. We actually got a controller for part of a flight, which where I live it's 12:30 a.m. It's 1:30 a.m. in Jacksonville, so pretty cool to get to have a controller this time of the night. Even though we're flying like the actual time that the team took the charter in real time today. Excuse me. It was in the afternoon, but obviously I'm flying it pretty late at night, so it's cool. Well, let's see where the other coastal crew is right now that was flying down to oh man, they're already south of Atlanta. That's cool.
Pop Romeo, so to maintain 3000, report Orlando International in sight.
So maybe we'll get to hear him on the frequency here in a little bit. I'll have to, might time out okay. We'll check out the back of the aircraft really quickly. Let's see what it's a lot of views of water. Well, hopefully soon when we get the offshore
On, turn left on Yankee, cross runway 18
oil rigs.
left,
There'll be a lot to look at out there.
Have a good night.
We're trying to spot some oil rigs and such. Here's our jump seat view.
Cross runway 18 left and taxi the ramp at your discretion. Pump up Romeo, Roger, cross the Orlando VOR or above 2,500, quad visual approach, and 18 right.
Alright, there we are at, we just cross our next fix. Let's check it out here on the release.
2248 Miami Center is offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved, have a good flight.
Over Unicom, thanks for ATC and have a good one, 2248.
So we're planning Remus 15,100 and we have 15,850 there, so we're still holding steady at about 700 pounds.
Romeo, the wind's 1808, runway 18 right, quarter land.
Good. Yeah, it looks like we'll get a nice view of the Gulf Coast along Mississippi, Louisiana on the way into Houston. So that'll be interesting. Oh, there we go. Speaking of Jackson, I see Jackson there. I saw they just came out with there's a new Payware airport for Jackson. It looks pretty nice. Definitely like to check that out. Ghost Rider, hey, welcome aboard. Glad to have you on this, I guess technically, I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, but morning where I am. So good morning to you. Good evening. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. We're just cruising along here at 34,000 feet and a little over an hour into the flight now, so almost halfway there. But it's been going pretty smoothly. We're south of all the weather, which is nice. So if y'all have any questions or anything you'd like to see in the Mad Dog, maybe you already have it, maybe you don't, maybe you're wondering some things about it. I'd love to try to show you whatever I can here in the aircraft while I'm in it. But glad to have you all riding aboard here for sure. Let's see, go ahead and start thinking about our landing. Planning for that. So we're projecting to have 9,400 pounds of fuel when we land at Houston Hobby. So our zero fuel weight was 102,400 pounds. So that'll be, let's see here, 111.6 is our projected landing weight. We were planned at 108.8, but we're carrying a little extra fuel. We're moving a little faster than maybe it had expected, and so 111.6 is what we'll be planning for our landing weight. So I'm going to go ahead and bump up this landing data card to the 112,000 pound card. Perfect. And I guess Houston's going to be coming out with some more weather here in about 20 minutes. Usually it's about 52 minutes past the hour you can get it. Cat Gary, hey, welcome back. Cat Gary, glad to have you back here again this week. Welcome aboard. Absolutely. So any of y'all in the chat, have any of y'all been doing anything cool in Flight Sim this week? Flying anywhere in particular? Have a new favorite aircraft? Love to hear about it. I'm gonna get our see what the digital latest is saying in Houston really quickly. Let me pull that up for you for the screen over here. There we go. So you might already know about this, you might not, but you can actually look at the digital ATIS that's being used in the real world. If you just Google D-ATIS and all the airports in the U.S. that have digital ATIS, you can just pull up the reports here. See, there's a drop-down menu with all of the airports, and in some of the larger airports, it'll have an arrival and a departure, just like Miami, the different ATISes. But we're going to Houston Hobby, and there's no one online in VATSIM right now in Houston Center.
You're getting ready to leave it. You can get a Unicom now if you like. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. We'll see you.
But looks like right now, uniforms current. I'm going to go ahead and write this down. 0453 Zulu's when this one came out. 010 at 8. The winds. 10 mile.
5801, I'm going to be closing up. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night.
5801. Have a good night. Thanks for the great ATC. Alright. Switch it over to 22.8. Yeah, Gary, would you say that your zoom level is realistic? I feel like a lot of streamers have theirs zoomed too far back. That's tough. Yeah, Gary, I mean, if I was gonna say if it's a realistic zoom, I mean, honestly, I could give you a better idea in like the CRJ or like the planes that I've actually flown in real life, and they'll have these little balls that you can line up. I'm not even sure in the Mad Dog what the real world pilots would use to make sure that they were situated at the precise level you need to be to have the best angle for takeoff and landing. But I think like, so if I'm thinking of like what's an accurate zoom level or height, I'll try to like look over at the seat next to me or behind me and like, okay, my head would be about here, right? And I think this is fairly accurate, but it's hard to simulate the field of vision, you know, you have. Like, think of a racing game. If you played a racing or a driving game, I mean, it's just completely different a lot of times just being in an actual car compared to what you see in a video game. VR is about as close as you can get, right? But speaking of which, I haven't tried VR in this plane yet, but I sure would like to. Because this EFB here has pretty much everything you need, which is awesome. But yeah, great question, Guy Gary. Thanks for asking. I can't really tell you for sure, but really when I'm doing the zoom levels, like I might zoom in just to make sure I can see something clearly. Or like if I need to type here in the CDU, I use this quick view because it's too easy to hit the wrong button from this view. All right, let's go check out that D-ATIS again. Oh, I guess I left it up there for y'all. But yeah, so the winds are 010 at 8, so still out of the north, 10 miles visibility, clear skies, temperature is 21, dew point is 17, so we still have a decent temperature dew point spread. That's good. 29er, 9er, 4 on the altimeters. ILS runway 4 is in use. No TAMS, taxiway Kilo 2 closed. Like we said, that's the taxiway that we would typically exit the runway 4 at. So we're going to roll it all the way to the end. Make sure we don't, and turn off to the right. Make sure we don't try to get on that closed taxiway. And yep, so that all looks good. Let's see how our other friends are doing. Jason and Nate flying down to Pensacola from GSP. And they just missed out on Jack Center, unfortunately. But kind of cool. We got 2 coastal flights in relatively close proximity right now. So that's kind of cool. All right, I want to take this back down here. So, Cat Gary, have you been playing any flight sim this week? Going anywhere interested on here? Or? Definitely like to hear about kind of what other people's adventures are in flight sim. It's a pretty neat piece of software because you can obviously go anywhere in the world, basically. So I have a lot of presets set on it. Back to your view question, Cat Gary. I have a lot of presets set up, like just to be able to see some things. Like this is kind of like if I wanted to lean up and look over the glare shield. This is maybe similar to what you'd be seeing. Like if you're trying to look up. Sometimes you'll look at the wipers to see if any ice is accumulating on them to get an idea of airframe icing. So this is a way to kind of simulate what you'd be doing in real life. This is kind of the jump seat view. Speaking of which, I think it's time we pull the jump seat out since you have you all here riding with me today. So I'll get that out. There we go. So you can see this is kind of the jump seat view. You can't really see much out the front. And there are the stirrups that you'd use to put your feet on, but they don't come out in the sim. But this is where you'd be sitting. It's not a bad jump seat. It's actually pretty comfortable as far as jump seats go. Decent amount of space up in the flight deck. Got Gary, I played P3D a lot. I tried MSFS and didn't really like it, unfortunately. Yeah, I get you. I get it. I never got into P3D just because when I got back into got a new computer, got back into flight sim, and I got X-Plane 11 and spent a lot of money on it. I'd imagine you probably put a lot of time, got a lot of mods and add-ons for P3D. It's kind of hard to switch sims once you put so much into one. But yeah, I've slowly been migrating more and more to MSFS these days, just as they've gotten more transport category aircraft, and I'd say really the PMDG 737 is what really got me over onto 2020. And Coastal Airways. I mean, Coastal Airways is just, it's a wonderful organization to be a part of. To simulate all the different aspects of flying in an airline environment. Jason, the CEO, does so much work behind the scenes. I mean, it's incredible. He's one of the hardest working guys in flight simulation, I'm pretty sure, and he just loves it. He loves aviation. He loves the people. He lays it all on the line for those of us that are part of Coastal Airways. Gary, MSFS obviously looks way better, but I feel so much more comfortable with my old P3D with all my mods and stuff. So, yep, I get that completely. I think honestly for me, one of the biggest weaknesses in Flight Sim 2020 is the airports. Like the default airports are not good, in my opinion. The markings are kind of off and almost arcade. I don't know, childish, or they're just not nearly as good as what I've seen in, for example, like X-Plane's default airports. Or the only significant time I've spent in P3D was during World Flight this last year with Team SoCal. We used P3D on our World Flight, and it looked really nice. You know, and you get the right add-ons, and it works really well. So I've probably spent, I don't know how many hours I flew at World Flight. I flew a lot of hours. So that was my experience with P3D, and I loved it. So I get it, Cat Gary. Really get it. Well, it looks like we're making pretty good progress. We getting toward the Louisiana coast here soon. I'm guessing Jason and Nate, who are flying that proving flight for Coastal, they've got to be getting really close to. Yeah. Yeah, Gary, with add-ons, it doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, I agree with you. 100% agree with you there. Yeah, they're our friends, so they're still up at Cruise. They're probably about to begin their descent into Pensacola. So if they, let's see, if Jack Center had stayed on, we maybe would have gotten to hear them on the radio. That would have been cool. Very cool. So, Cat Gary, are the developers still coming out with some new add-ons and sceneries for P3D, or have you noticed it's starting to slow down quite a bit with Flight Sim 2020 being out? And like, have you noticed any difference in that realm? Kind of curious, since I would think you probably track that pretty well. Yeah, they're pretty much done with it. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense with all the new people coming in, going straight to 2020, especially the Xbox crowd. I mean, hopefully there'll be some people that they learn about flight simming through Xbox, and then maybe they want to move over to a PC because you just have so many more options if you have a PC that you sim on, you know, all the freeware and the. Speaking of which, I did get a freeware for Houston Hobby that we're going to be seeing tonight as we land there. Let me pull it up really quickly. Oops, nope. Well, here, let me find it, and I'll get it up on the screen here. We'll take a look at it. It looked pretty good from what I saw. But here it is. It's who's the guy that did this? Star Scenery. Yep, Star Scenery. So this is the Houston Hobby Airport version 2.2. They just reworked it. See what all he said here. They have the depiction of the runway 36 and 18 closure. For whatever reason, I can't read all of that, but anyways, here's some of the pictures. You'll see. We're gonna get to see it in person here in just a little bit, but he did a really good job, especially for freeware. There's so much outstanding freeware available now for Flight Sim 2020. To the point now where, I mean, if I'm flying anywhere new, I pretty much will always at least Google where I'm going in MSFS, and more times than not, there's some good scenery for it. Yep, you can see he has the runway 36 and 18 marked with the yellow X's. It's closed. Enhanced night lighting, that'll be good on the way out on Sunday night. So cool. I think this will be my first time flying in with this scenery. I went out there to set up the GSX profile for the charter ramp we're stopping at, but there we go. All right, I'm going to be hopping on to, whoops, stand by one sec. We're going to be bringing in some of the guys, other coastal guys, going on the company channel really quickly, so y'all get to hear it too. Here we go. They're going to come in here. Yeah, it's Jason there. He's saying, hey, go to company box. How's it going, Jason?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well. How's y'all's flight going?
It was good. I mean, we're going to try again in Miami. We're just on the descent right now. We had a freeze, so really well. How's your flight going?
It's going really well. I'm out over the Gulf of Mexico right now. I took this route.
I saw you.
Yeah, it's 100
South.
nautical miles shorter, and
right.
definitely keeping the aircraft clear of any of that weather that was. It's kind of bad earlier today. It's not as bad now. It's really calming down, but I was kind of hoping
you
Jack's
got lucky.
Yeah, no kidding. You all too heading to Pensacola, so.
Yeah. Well, the storm's coming in. Nate and I were chatting. Like, we got like a few hours before we're gonna get hammered with this thing.
Yeah.
With this front. I'm glad you stayed south. I figured you would. I know you're gonna stay south of all that.
Yeah, especially with us. I don't know. 100 nautical miles is a sizable distance to
headwind
save. Yeah. It's a lot of fuel in a Mad Dog.
Yeah, it sure is. It feels like you're crawling in that area.
Yeah.
That's fun though.
So how was your controls overall? Like, did it go without a hitch in the first leg, or?
Oh, it was great. First leg was fantastic. It really went well, and I think what we're going to try to do now is when I land, I'm going to get everything, getting ready for just a regular turn state. I'll clear the FMC, I'll clear weights, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to restart my sim. and Nate would probably do the same thing. We'll see if we could get it synced up. It was we were kind of off sync coming out of Greensboro a little bit, Spartanburg, and
Yeah.
Nate's like, we're going 5,000 feet a minute. I'm like, no, we're not. We're doing like 2,000 feet a minute. Anyway, so it was a little weird that way. So I think I'm hoping that this will, it'll kind of test it out where this is a good, learning opportunity essentially.
Yeah. I think it'll be a really cool option for our coastal flights too, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to get worked out the whole, I got to work out our hours, and that's, with our new dev coming on, he's going to help us with that. I'm sure of it. So he could probably really, oh yeah, I can figure this out, and then we could, because I want both pilots to get credit.
Yeah.
Not just one,
I mean, you pay both of them in the real world, so.
Yes, we do.
So.
You're not kidding. Good money too.
Yeah.
How long do you have to go?
Let's see here.
Almost.
So, really only a little over an hour. So not. It's a much shorter flight than the one up to Minneapolis last week. So.
It's true.
Or I guess yours
not
to.
Too bad.
You get to go back to Boston, right?
Yeah, Monday. There we go.
Panthers are staying
tonight,
alive.
didn't they?
Oh, they did. Yeah, I didn't get to watch any hockey tonight. I actually fell asleep watching the Braves baseball game. And was just trying to rest up for this flight.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I took a nap late, like at 5. It took like a maybe 30, 40-minute nap.
Yeah.
You're tired when you could just sleep on the floor.
I just that's all that I kept staying up with Nate trying to get that year controls to work. We never got off the grounds ever.
Oh gosh.
It's screwed up on.
Well, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's so weird. That's what I mean. Like, I'm looking forward to some third party like really developing it and making it bug free. Almost.
Yeah.
But the first ride was fantastic. It was good. Anyway, I'm glad you're doing well. I just wanted to check in with you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was watching the takeoff and taxiing takeoff, and it all looked really good. Sounded really cool, and it was exciting to see.
I think it was the first, really.
Yeah.
With maybe showing that, I don't know, on a stream.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody has done it, but that's why it's a flooded hour. Cool, man. Well, wish you luck into Houston. You got the freeware?
I do, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. They're coming out with the scenery for it.
Really? When's that coming out?
For Houston, I don't know, but I've heard that a dev is working on Houston, so that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that will be cool.
Get to do some hobby flights. iSlip, did you hear that iSlip just got released?
Yes. I figured you'd be excited about that one. Yeah.
Get ready. I'm excited to finish this stinking day one, and I can kick the 600 to the curb and get it released, because if we can get it released by May 1st, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. This is a day one. This is just a single day.
Yeah.
Up and back. Pretty cool.
Oh, looking forward to it. It's a fun airplane to fly too. The 600.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got its quirks, but pretty good. You know what I got to do, bud, is I got to make a MD-80 checklist like our 73.
Okay.
But I have to coastal-fy it.
Oh, that'd be good.
Love
it.
Every MD-80 checklist is like 15 pages long.
Yeah, I've been using it. for sure.
Yeah, it's just a little too long. I'm gonna probably try working on something else. All right, well, I'll let you go back to your stream. I just want to say hi. Good luck.
Thanks for
I'm
checking
getting
in.
to 10,000 feet. Yeah, man.
Well, enjoy. Have a safe
I'll definitely
landing.
watch it.
Bye.
Yeah, you too. We're gonna go back to Miami, so
Okay.
we'll probably be on. You might want to pop in and say bye
Yeah.
before you take off.
I think I will.
Hey, brother.
All right.
Hey,
See you,
man.
Jason.
We'll see you. Bye.
All right. So that was Jason, the CEO of Coastal Airways. So you heard him. They're getting ready to go through 10,000 on the way into Pensacola, and then they're gonna continue on down to Miami. So it's a full night of flying there. Hilton Head, Greenville, Spartanburg, Pensacola, Miami. But that should be fun. So they're not too far away from us now, really. Let's see. I'll pull it up here. Let's see where they are. Refresh this SimAware. Oh yeah, they're in LA right now, Lower Alabama. Just sending on down. So we're not too. You can almost see them off the right wing there. Somewhere out there. We can definitely see land now up ahead. Which is cool. So one thing I might try in this flight that I haven't done yet is the sky dolly. So I think I'm going to try it. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it from people that use it, and I know that it just will allow us to have a really cool replay of the landing and other things that we got to see when coming in. So I think I'm going to try to do that. Hopefully, I've been having some issues with VMSA cars, which is what we use here at Coastal to track our flights. When I end the flight, it crashes the sim. So that could happen tonight. If that's the case, obviously when the sim crashes, we'll go ahead and wrap up the stream. Otherwise, certainly would like to be able to do a replay of the landing and check out some of the vantage points, both inside and outside the aircraft of that. So I think it's always kind of a fun thing to do. But we'll see what happens with VMSA cars. For now, it's working pretty well. There's Louisiana. We'll look outside the aircraft really quickly. Alright, so like we said, our landing weight is going to be 112. Let's go ahead and start getting set up. They should have the new ATIS out now for Houston Hobby, since it's about 10 minutes past the time when they typically have that come out. So let me check on that. Yep, Victor is out now. I'll pull it up on the, well, I guess y'all can see it there. Victor is out. Winds are 03011, 10 miles clear, 2116 for the temperature dew point, 299 or 5 now on the altimeters. And ILS to 4 is still being used. Taxiway Kilo 2 is closed. Perfect. Here's the latest on the radar. Yeah, it's all north and east of our current position, so looking good. All right, we'll run the performance numbers first, and then we'll brief the approach and get all that set up. So we're actually going to be moving over to Houston Hobby. Runway 4. Said the winds are 010 at 8. Oh, that was weird. Sounds went kind of funny for me for a second. 010 at 8. Altimeters 299 or, whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, we need to do landing. Never mind, sorry. Let's go on Houston. It's like, that doesn't look right. We do flaps 40, 010 at 8, 299er 5 now on the meters. Outside air temperatures at 21. Gonna add 5 knots to the ref, and medium braking, landing weights of 111,600 pounds. And let's calculate it. So it looks like our landing distance required is 5796. And V ref 40, flaps 40, 128. So we'll do a V approach up at 133. Alright, that all looks good. So we'll go ahead and set this over to medium, so it'll be ready to go. We arm it. And I'm also going to get our speed bugs all set. There they go at 128 and 133 that will bug there. And then we have for the other speeds there, B15, that's the maneuvering speed for flaps 15 at 148. Next one is cleans. I'm sorry, that's with this just the slats. Leading edge devices out 171, and then clean is all the way up there at 216. You got to respect those maneuvering speeds. You don't want to be getting below those in those configuration zones, or you could have a nasty stall. So we'll keep that in mind. It's nice to have these bugs set to help us with that also. So that's always a threat with this plane. When it stalls hard. Alright, well other than that, we're going to go ahead, let me set up the approach here in the CD. It's going to be ILS to 4. I think, yeah, so ILS 4, we'll just do that. Perfect. kind of a cool view. Alright, I'll pull it up on here too. I need to make this a little larger now since we actually have some work to do. Alright, so first things first, let's check out the arrival into Houston. This is the Bay 5 arrival. Looks like there is a speed restriction. Jet aircraft descend via Mach number until intercepting 280 knots. Maintain 280 until slowed by star. Okay. And we're going to be entering this star when we get to Leeville. Lima Echo Victor here in just about 32 nautical miles. So let's check out those legs really quickly. I'm going to switch this over to plan mode. We'll zoom in a little bit. Let's verify all of these really quickly. So we have Leeville, then Casey, Slice, Gear. Looks like between Slice and Gear, that's when our top of descent is. So we still have a little ways to go. And I think I've zoomed in as far as I can. It's still kind of hard to see. There we go. Shuttle. Then Bay, 280 knots between level 200 and 17,000. Yep, pucks between 14 and 18 at 280. Yep, that's what we're showing there. Then 240 knots at Freddy between 10,000 and 8,000. Yep. And Fig between 7,000 and 6,000. And then since we're going to runway 4, it's out to Shug at 210 knots at 6,000 feet. That's set. EMAR and then vectors. And let's go ahead and get everything set up for the approach. So localizer is going to be 1099. I'll get that tuned on both sides. Along with the course, which is 041. Alright, there's 041, 1099 is our localizer frequency. Cool, that's set. Get this out of plan mode for right now, just so we can keep tabs on where we're going. And it looks like minimums 200 for the radar. DH here. Alright, that's set. And then on the 244 MSL. So I'll set that here in the altimeter window. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead. We'll brief up the ILS to 4. It'll be the visual back to the ILS. So it's Hobby, 17th February 23, 11-1, ILS runway 4. Localizer is 109.9er. It's set both sides. 041 course inbounds. Yep, it's set. SA is final approach fix, which costs at 1,500 feet for the minimums. 200 foot ceiling, and we need half mile visibility. We have clear skies, 10 miles visibility, so plenty of that. Probably a visual approach. Airport elevation's 46 feet. We did get that set in the pressurization window pre-flight. Still 29er, just up to 2995 now on the altimeter. MSA is 3,100 feet around the Trinity VOR within 29 nautical miles. For the legs, let's just inspect the plan. We'll check this out. All the way down. Yeah, there's a lot of fixes in close proximity there. So first fix we're going to be going to is Elrun. There's Elrun. Yep, Elrun SA. So Elrun's at or above 2,000. Yep. SA is at 1,500. Then runway 4, missed approach. Climb to 1,500 feet, then climbing right turn at 3,000 inbound on the Trinity. 290 radial to Trinity and hold. That looks good. The hold at Trinity. 110 bearing 2, and then right hand turns. 1 minute legs. Yep, that all looks good. Highest obstacle towers, 2,049 feet, so pretty high towers just to the west of the localizer course. So definitely don't want to get out in that direction in proximity to those. It looks like we just crossed a fix. Check that out here in just a minute. Alright, we're crossing Leeville. We have 12,000 pounds. Happy on the right, altitude lighting. And like we said, if we get to land, we're going to be taking it all the way to the end of Kilo. Since Kilo 2 is closed according to the NOTAMs, so we will keep that in mind. And we're parking all the way down here in the south ramp area. So what we're going to have to do is be Kilo. Have to get clearance to cross. 13 left or 31 right, 31 left. Left turn Juliet and all the way in to the parking. So that's all I have. Assume we're already clear to send VS and there's no controllers on, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in 6,000 feet in the altitude selector, and I'll arm it. That way, autopilot will start down when we get to the top of descent. There we go. 6,000 set. Let's see what the planned fuel was at Leeville. Planned fuel at Leeville was 10.9. We had 12,000, so we have 1,100. We had 1,100 extra pounds of fuel. So we're actually saving fuel so far on this flight. Doing pretty well, which is cool. Let's check our SimAware. It looks like Jason and Nate, the other coastal guys, are on the ground in Pensacola, unloading. And we're on the home stretch now. We're definitely in Houston Center's purview. There's just nobody online with Houston Center right now, unfortunately. Looks like Fly Live froze up again. Let me reset that. I don't know why it freezes up all the time. All right. Gonna load fly live back on the ticker at the top. There we go. There, now it's accurate. So we were due to get in at 5:30 local time. What's the sim showing here? Yeah, 3:20. I was like, dang, it's showing early. Heard something come through on the Discord. Oh, it's egg cars. Yeah, the guys flying to Pensacola just filed their flight. Okay, cool. So they're officially complete with that flight, which is good. That's cool. Yeah, so New Orleans is kind of back at our 4 o'clock right now. Then let's see if we can go back and see it. I was kind of wondering. I was like, New Orleans is somewhere close by. Let's see if we can see it back off the Rich Hotel. Yeah, it's gonna be back in that kind of foggy area, I guess. Cool. So we're showing we're only 248 nautical miles now from Houston Hobby. That's not too far. 144 from top of descent. Should be there in 24 minutes at the top of the descent. Well, while we still have a few minutes left in cruise, I think let's check out some of the MLS Major League Soccer leaders and goals scored and that sort of thing. One other thing we can do, let's look at the stats really quickly. So who is leading the race for Golden Boot right now? It is Jordan Morris, who was playing for the U.S. men's national team against Mexico the other night. Had a fairly good game. Bwanga, what is his first name? Let's see. Dennis, yeah. Dennis Bwanga with 6 goals. Ooh, wow. Houston. Amine Bassi. So he's in the race right now. And Klaus, yeah, I've heard of Klaus. He's the big guy for St. Louis. They just keep scoring tons of goals. Assist-wise, we have Thiago Almada with 5 there. Key passes, Christian Espinoza, Salentano with clean sheets. He's tied with Joe Willis with the 5. Morris, Columbus Crew with the most tackles. Most goals, St. Louis with 20. Here, I'm just curious where Nashville is on this list. I'm sorry, they just do not. Here, we can sort goals. I think. Yeah, there it goes. SKC with 2. Nashville has 7. So they're. Miami actually has fewer. They're at 6. Man, 2 goals is all Sporting Kansas City scored this year. That's rough. That's a rough year to be a fan too. If you're only watched 2 goals in 2 months of soccer, so that's horrible. You got St. Louis here, the expansion team, with 10 times that many. Ouch. If there are any headlines here, Raul Ruidiaz is out. Hamstring injury, that's too bad for him. Tata Martino, former Atlanta United coach, then we went to the Mexican national team, and sounds like we're talking about rumors of him coming back to MLS to coach. And these are the games they say you want to watch this week, apparently. Tier 1, Tier 3. And I've never looked at this one. Good luck out there, everybody. Tier 3, the satisfaction of expectations being met. Sometimes you want the best and you get it. Nashville SC versus LAFC. 2 playoff caliber teams from separate conferences with polar opposite styles face off in front of a rowdy crowd in the country's largest soccer-specific stadium in Nashville. Sounds like a really, really good time to me. LAFC may even drag Nashville out of the show. At the very least, you could expect something special from one of Dennis Bouanga and or Hani Mukhtar, who won the Golden Boot last year in Major League Soccer. So that's the game I'm going to. Let's see if they have the Houston. Yeah, they do. So their take for previewing the Houston Inter Miami game. If you like me are increasingly interested in the beginnings of a renaissance going on in Houston, this game is for you. You very likely are not like me, but that doesn't change the fact that Houston are playing entertaining soccer and pulling out results. They'll be favored to do the same against a spiraling Miami team. So we'll have to see on the return flight if Miami was able to pull off the win against Houston. Sounds like they're definitely heavy underdogs in this game. And looks like Fly Live froze again. That's so funny. Oh well. I don't know if there's anything that can be done to fix it. It's just... that is weird. Huh. It's like it froze, which I just don't, there we go. It unfroze. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It looks like we're in sight of our top of descent now. Making progress. Well, definitely do appreciate those of you that have been hopping on and enjoying the stream. There's a nice view of the Louisiana coast out the right side of the aircraft. The passenger side. Here, I'll pull up the maps. You can see what you're looking at there. Going up to our Pecan Island. So we were planning to land in Houston with 6,500 pounds of fuel. Hey, look, some oil rigs. Take a look at that. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know we had some, and that must be with Flight Sim 2020. Asobo must have put those in. Neat. It's good to. There are a bunch of them. Look at that. Wow. Well, that's a cool surprise. Huh. And where are we located? I want to see what airport is close by here, because I definitely want to. I think I want to try to go and check out some of those oil rigs with my blindside Bell 206B helicopter, you know. Looks like you can go to Williams Memorial in Patterson, Louisiana. It'd be pretty close. I'll take a picture of that so that I'll remember. I think I will go check this out. There we go. Got the picture taken. I'm gonna come back here in my helicopter. Check it out. For sure. Well, must say it has been pretty nice weather this whole flight. Haven't run into any of that bad turbulence, thankfully. Let's see there. I wonder if they're getting ready to head out again. I heard my Discord made a noise. Yeah, I guess maybe the Flight Sim Asobo just put in the oil rigs in that one little area for some activities. I don't see any more. All right. Well, the other side of our charter department, we've been transporting the Florida Panthers. It'd be kind of interesting to see what they've been up to lately. They split the part of their series when they were up in Boston. So let's take a look at it here on NHL.com. Looks like tonight, looks like Carolina is leading the series against the New York Islanders 2-1, but the New York Islanders did take Game 3 5-1 over the Carolina Hurricanes. Boston came back after a humiliating defeat against Florida the other night. They took Game 3, so they're now leading the series 2-1. So Jason, who was on a little earlier, he's going to be flying our MD-83 that Coastal has up to Boston on Monday to get the team back up there for their at least Game 5. It could be the deciding game. We'll have to see. Looks like Minnesota is up 2-1 over Dallas. Kings are up 2-1 over Edmonton. And the other series, the only series where there's a team that's maybe going to be able to sweep is the Rangers. They're up 2-0 over New Jersey Devils. So we'll have to see there. But very cool. Is it worth checking in with our NHL side of things? Though this is our MLS charter, it's still the same airline, still the same department in our airline, the charter department. Certainly appreciate everything Sean does to help keep us on track here in the Coastal Airways charter department, giving us our all the information on where we park and knowing and mirroring it as much as possible with what the real team's doing in the real world with their charter flights. So very cool and much appreciated, Sean. I wonder if we're even, we can even still see the coast out here. Hold up, let's go back here. Oh yeah, coast is still in sight. I'll pull up the map again. Lake Charles is coming up soon. Oh yeah, there's some more oil platforms. Look, it's kind of windy down there. I can see some white caps. Very cool. Huh. I didn't realize that these oil platforms were in here, so that's honestly, I think that's pretty cool. Looks like they're just kind of placed strategically, though. It sounds like Airsoft's maybe going to try to do all of them, which is that is so cool. Take a picture of that so I can have it. 40 miles from top of descent now. So we're making really good progress. $40 miles. Yeah, I do wonder how many aircraft and controllers were on earlier tonight with the Friday night ops in the Gulf Coast. So I imagine it was a pretty cool event. Certainly would have maybe in the future try to get on a little earlier and fly that flight. All right, we just passed Slice. We're now going to Gear. Fuel wise, we're projecting 7.8. Houston, so it's gone up another couple of 100 pounds. So we're quite fuel efficient today, it seems. See how my, yep, got my bubbly here. It's holding up pretty well, but definitely gonna need a little more hydration before we land. Definitely do want to say thank you. Uh-oh. That was a mistake. I was trying to, roll a window on the on my computer, and it cycled the landing gear lever, so definitely don't want to lower the landing gear up here at 34,000 feet. I'm sure that got the ACARs angry at me. It says gear down, gear up. Yeah, hopefully it didn't ding me too badly. Ah, cat gear. Yeah, don't worry, I didn't see anything. Yeah. Yeah, I thought my mouse was on a different window, and apparently it was not, and it just lined up perfectly with the gear lever. Maybe I should just stay in the flight deck here. All right, we're getting really close to our top of descent now. Got the front. Oh yeah. Start to see the shoreline of, that's Texas out there. It's making really good progress. See if we can see any more oil rigs, oil platforms. I don't know what the difference between an oil rig and an oil platform is, but I'm sure some people in this part of the country could tell you. Imagine a sizable number of people, that's how they're living. And that industry definitely helps keep the aviation industry going, that's for sure. These planes definitely need the petroleum products and keep going. All right. I think we're all set up and ready to go. I don't think there's stowed the flap, the dial-a flap over here on the. That's something that's easy to forget. Yeah, looking good. Awesome. And our gross rate's already at 111,900 pounds, so quite a ways under our max landing weight. I'm wondering if the other guys are still gonna do that flight to Miami, or if they called it off. I don't know. I don't see any sign of them anymore, anywhere. So. All right, we've begun our descent now into Houston Hobby. That's good. Definitely clearly see the Texas shoreline out in front of us now. Coming up on gear. It's very fitting, especially with the recent incident that just happened with lowering the landing, cycling the landing gear lever at 34,000 feet. It's not a normal thing to do. Yep. So Galveston will be right off the left, right out of our the captain's window here on the way in. Got more. Look at that. More oil platforms. There's even a ship out there. That's cool. Huh. I just did not realize. Oh, there are a ton of them. Look at that. They're all over the place. Looks like a lot of them have places you can land too. Huh. That's cool. I wonder if they're actually built up or if it's just like a picture from a satellite image. I don't know. And have any of y'all in the chat ever flown to one of the oil rigs here in Flight Sim 2020? I have not yet, but looks like I'm going to be trying that out soon. I'm going to check that out, see if you can land on them. Let's make sure the pressurization is acting as it should. Yep, it's descending. Great. Everything's set for the arrival into Hobby. double check, make sure Houston's not on. Sometimes Houston will get on late. At least they used to. But yeah, there's nobody left here out here tonight. Somebody flying over in Austin. They're flying to El Salvador. Yeah, somebody up in Dallas Fort Worth too. Not much going on. It's understandably getting pretty late. Let me see if I can get the Fly Live to kick into gear. Let's see here. This'll work. It's just not working for some reason. I do not know why. I want to turn that off. Well, if any of y'all have any ideas on it, certainly would appreciate any thoughts, because I can't get it to work. It hasn't been working for months now. Okay. Okay, Gary, you're considering flying on VATSIM for the first time soon. That's awesome. Yeah, I would highly encourage you to do so. And I mean, the controllers, everybody are pretty friendly for overall, I would say. And really, I mean, it's just for fun. So I love flying on VATSIM. I really do. Especially when you got a lot of other people online and fully staffed controllers. You can't beat it. You certainly can't beat the price. It's free, right? So what are some common beginner mistakes to avoid with VATSIM or talking on the radio? Honestly, I would say make sure you know what you're going to say before you key the mic. Maybe go over it a little bit in your head or whatever you need to do. Know what you're going to say before you key the mic. Also, I would say keep your communications concise. Don't put extra words in there that don't need to be there. That's a pet peeve of controllers and other pilots that are trying to get their transmissions in. Honestly, I would say if you really want to get a good overview of how to communicate on the radio, I would go to pilotedge.net, and they have a tutorial series. Here, I'll post it in the chat right now. I think it'll let me do that. May or may not. Speaking of which, we're going through our altitude. We set our altimeters. There are lights on. Don't want the wing lights. I'll get that for you here in just a second. Let's get some of the flow items in. Get the engine sync off. Alright, descent check. MSA is checked, approach and landing briefing performed. FT's got the altimeter set at 299.5 and cross-checked. Landing data is confirmed. V-bugs are set at VRF 40 at 128. V approach will be 130. There are maneuvering speeds too. Radio altimeter audio markers set and on. Hydraulic system is set and checked. We're at 2800 psi, both sides. That's good. And pressurization is checked and set. So check complete. All right. Let me get you that Cat Gary. Are you aware of Pilot Edge? Have you used that before? Because I might be telling you something you already know too, but I just think, from my experience, that is the best way to kind of learn. I'm going to send this. Let's see if it'll let me post this in chat. It's my channel. Hopefully it'll let me. There you go. That's the link. That'll take you to what's called the CAT rating. So that teaches you all about your VFR flying and communicating on the radio. And they also have an instrument school. But when you go through that, I mean, you're going to be super comfortable. And they even have a trial on Pilot Edge if you want to try it out. But it does have a monthly subscription if you want to use their actual services out west. But if you want to learn how to do it right, really well the first time, that's the best place to go. You're not going to be scared of VATSIM at all if you if you get used to Pilot Edge. VATSIM will be like a walk in the park. But even if you just read through those tutorials, which are free, I mean, it'll teach you what you need to know to communicate well on VATSIM too. They even have some YouTube videos on those too, where they demonstrate some of the flights. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. All right, so we're coming up on Freddy now. Let me pull up the plate here for us. Star. Bay 5. So we got between 8 and 10 at 240 knots. I wonder if we're gonna need some drag. Looks like it's doing pretty well. We might need a little bit of drag. Yep, there's our McDo message for drag required. Pulling it out. Here, let's go back here. Let's look at these. The boards are coming out. That's awesome. Houston Hobby traffic. Riptap 5801 MD-83, 30 miles to the east, inbound for runway 4, Houston Hobby. There we go. Uh-oh. So my sim just locked up. It's back. Whew. Definitely started to have some random freezes and crashes since the last sim update and NVIDIA drivers. And I actually rolled back my driver by a few last night. I was having some crashes, so. Let's see what's going on here. Why is it not keeping the speed at 240? I'm gonna do FMS override. There. Because I think we're, it's gotta go to Shug. That's what it's doing. But we should still be at 240 up to Fig, so. All right, we're through 10,000, so here we go. I'll switch this over to terrain since there are those towers out here. Ships. Don't have the airport in sight yet, but it's somewhere out there. Alright, so after, pull it up here. So we're gonna go down to 6,000 at Shug, 210 knots, which we'll have to see if it's actually gonna. There it goes. Lap 0. We're gonna need that drag. So after Shug and Emar, let's see on the approach, we can get down to 2,000 at Elrin. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and set that in 2,000. And we need to listen in to identify it. Let's check that. Make sure our localizer is identifying properly. Hold on. Yep, it matches. India Hotel Uniform Bravo. Perfect. Alright, we'll go flaps. Good. Wow. Yeah, Flight Sim 2020 definitely is pretty. This is just the default scenery. It's crazy. Yes, I know. Gear horn off. Alright, we're going to start our turn down. VNAV descent. Just going to do indicate airspeed. Class 15. Houston Hobby traffic, Riptide 5801 MD-83, right downwind runway 4. Houston Hobby. Alright. Looking good. Now I'm going to switch us to vertical speed mode. We do not need to be screaming down at 2,500 feet per minute. Also going to slow us back to 180. There we go. Gear warning at 5,000 feet. Yep. It's nice. This is a noisy plane, isn't it? Noisy airplane. I love it though. A lot of trim motion going on right now. Alright, gear down. Airport's maybe in sight. I think that's it out there. Just not as familiar. Arm loop. Houston Hobby traffic, grip tap 5801, right base, runway 4. Houston Hobby. I'm sorry. They clean this up. There, that looks a lot better. There's our loc. Do ILS. Make sure I hit the right thing. I don't disarm the auto throttle there. Cool. Loc capture. Alright, we're going to be slowing down to our VREF 40, 128, so plus 5 will be 133. Man, this thing is dancing all over with the localizer. There's the runway inside. I might have to kick off the autopilot if it doesn't capture here. There it goes. Alright. Let's go flaps 40 and we'll slow to approach speed. Perfect, wing lights coming out, we're clear to land. And get this to Boach. Alright, approach check, cabin signs are on and on, fuel system is set. Timbers and bugs are 2995 cross checked. Approach check complete, final check landing gear, lights down 3 green. Go around, there we go. Flap sight lever is 40-40, extended. Speed brake lever armed, auto brake, medium, engine ignition selector, both EOAP checked. Final checklist complete. Houston Hobby traffic, grip tap 5801, MD-83, 5 mile final, runway 4, Houston Hobby. Alright, here we go. Autopilot's coming off. Auto throttle's coming off. I love flying this plane. It's definitely a little heavier on the controls than the 737 NG, so I like that though. Like I said, if we land, we're going to be rolling out all the way to the end and we'll exit to the right. Kilo 2 is closed. Sync 500, speed 133. And we're clear to land. Line up.
Light slow.
Flying up. Or visual. I got the pappies in sight. We're good. Visual. Visual. We're down. Converters are extended, deployed. 90 knots. And coming up on the brakes, we don't want to stop. There we go. Like we can't exit at Kilo 2 there. Or no, Kilo 2 is the next one. Okay. Well, man, we could have, if we'd really gotten on the brakes, we could have taken that one. We're fine. We're fine. Alright, so we'll take it off at the end at, here, I'll pull it up for y'all so you can see. I forgot to do the recording of the landing, but that's fine. It's all good. Alright, we'll take it off at Kilo here at the end. Here we go. Thanks, Cat Gary. That's how it's done. Yeah, it's a fun plane, man. I think they have this same plane in P3D, right? Leonardo. Alright. Houston Hobby traffic. Riptap 5801 is clear runway 4 at Kilo. We're taxiing Kilo, and we'll hold short of runway 31 right. Hobby. Cool. Alright. Well, let me do some cleanup flows here. We don't need to keep listening to the... Yeah, you have it for P3D? Awesome. So is it pretty similar to this one? I'm guessing it would be. Which is awesome. I love this plane though. Love, love, love it. Strap the APU. Got that off, got that off. Off. Open these back up. Whoops. And turn off the radar. We don't need that on anymore. Good. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Awesome. Yeah, it's a good plane. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, after landing, flaps, slat lever. Just gonna raise them all the way up. There we go. Auto brake is off. Speed brake lever retracted. Engine ignition selector off. Pitot and static heaters off. Airfoil and engine anti-ice switches off. And weather radar off. After landing check complete. Yeah, I never came here before I downloaded this little freeware edition for hobby, but it looks pretty good. I have flown here in real life many times as a pilot, and it's just it's an old airport with a lot of hangars and buildings everywhere, so this is starting to have the feel of that. I'm gonna leave my strobes on. I forgot to turn them off, but we're gonna cross the runway, so here we go. Houston Hobby traffic, Riptap 5801 is crossing runway 31 right and 31 left at Kilo. Houston Hobby. Alright, we're clear right, clear to cross, clear left, clear to cross. Here we go. Let's get all our lights on. And then we're going to be taking a left on to Juliet once we get to the other side here. Alright. Clear left, clear across, clear right, clear across. Oh, nice. They turn off automatically? That's nice. Be awesome. Houston Abbey traffic, grip tab 5801, clear runways, 31 right and 31 left to Kilo, continuing Kilo Juliet to South Ramp parking. Hobby. Alright, so we're going to take a left on Juliet here. This is pretty much going to take us into our ramp that we're going to. Let me get GSX pulled up and ready to go. Should be spot 30, parking 33 is what I'm showing in my notes from Sean, our charter manager. Request follow me. No. There. Alright, we should see our marshaller out there. So get around the corner. Go ahead and kill the flight directors. There are lights to where our coastal ops want us to have them. That's a bug with Flight Simulator where the brake will, like a brake friction bug. Barely tap the brakes and it'll take you all the way to a stop, even when you've released them. Alright. I wonder how many people are flying into Hobby earlier, the Friday night ops. Alright, there we go, got the APU on. Yeah, there we go. I think our, yep, should be right down in this hole here. That's where we're parking. They're going to have to push us out on Sunday night when we're leaving. They typically don't stream the return legs. They're at night, so you can't really see anything outside. It's usually covering the same ground we just covered on the way over, except the flights over are always in the daytime, which is nice. So likely the next stream will be next Friday. I believe we're heading to Columbus, Ohio. Alright, there we are. Parking brake set. We got the APU. Awesome. Shut them down. Awesome. Attack. Don't need this on anymore. What's our N2? I'm not sure. It'll ding us if our NT is above a certain level. It should be good now. I can turn off the anti-collision light. Awesome. Alright. Get everybody off this airplane. Get off my plane. Request deboarding.
Requested.
There we go. Oh, you know what I should have done? I forgot to do is get the GPU. because you can't do it once you requested deboarding or boarding. It won't let you get it. So, oh well. Too bad. So sad. I don't want the service. Alright, well, we'll leave the APU running until we get everybody off. That's just the way it's going to be today. It was my mistake. Alright, oops, this needs to be on standby.
Passengers bus is coming.
Parking check. Fuel tank, pump switches, all off except we have the forward right on. Oxygen transfer, hydraulic pumps. Turn those off now. Put the stairs down. Parking brake set, parking check complete. Alright, well, we have arrived at Houston Hobby Airport. Let's take a quick peek outside. Looks like they're getting everybody in place, and the players are going to go onto the bus and head on in to get on the bus to the stadium, I guess to their hotel, and probably the stadium for tomorrow's game. Maybe a practice or run through, I don't know. But certainly appreciate all of you joining along today. It's been a lot of fun, and obviously we had nice weather. Storms were all to our north and east, so thankfully we didn't deal with those today. But I gotta admit, I'm kind of hoping we're gonna have a crazy weather stream at some point doing these charters, which I'm sure we will. But for now, VRF Simmer signing off. I'm gonna leave. We'll do a walk around, listen to some music, and fly out of here. So thanks for riding along. Yeah, Gary, thanks for sticking around to the very end. Great to have you on board. Hope your P3D flying goes well. And look forward to seeing all of you on a future stream, more than likely next Friday. For now, VRF Summer signing off. Have a good night.
Pilots deboarding starting.